Today we got two rather unsung, underrated heavy hitters going head to head. Aquaman versus She-Hulk. Who's coming out on top here? Let's find out. The son of Atlantean Queen and lighthouse keeper from the town of Amnesty Bay, Arthur Curry will grow up to become the superhero Aquaman, and later take on his birthright as the King of Atlantis. He's a founding member of the Justice League, among DC Comics' most recognized heroes. Aquaman possesses incredible strength, and is easily able to move more than 100 tons. He's pushed down tectonic plates into the trench, held up a city block, and lifted an oil rig platform. He's also been able to hold his own in a fight with Wonder Woman, Lobo, and Triton, and managed to sucker punch Superman and send him flying. Aquaman is superhumanly durable. However, he is susceptible to piercing attacks. He's pretty durable to blunt force and energy blasts, though, able to withstand punches from Despero and blasts from Starro before. His stamina is also incredible. He's able to swim around the Earth for an endless period of time and fight a dimension of multiple suns for hours on end without growing tired. While not quite a speedster, Aquaman has incredible reflexes. He's able to dodge point-blank gunfire and lightning, and his reflexes are even superior to Deathstroke, which is pretty impressive. Under the water, though, his upper limit is unknown, but he's mentioned that he's usually faster than Superman when he's under the water. Arthur can also move so fast that he can create huge whirlpools, tidal waves, and even spin his hand-scraped vacuums in the water. While Aquaman has many different powers, perhaps the most famous one is his telepathic ability to communicate with marine life. But the thing is, he's actually achieved a telepath and has communicated with marine life all of his life, that he's also able to engage in mind communication with non-aquatic life, even Martian Manhunter. However, as of right now, his telepathic powers have been downgraded, and really only communicates indirectly with marine life. Aquaman is an expert fighter, and excels in hand-to-hand combat, and is very, very skilled with his trident. Speaking of his trident, Arthur always carries around the King's Trident, which is indestructible, and is even able to injure Darkseid, which is saying something. So, that's what we got in one corner, the King of Atlantis, Aquaman. But, entering the ring, in the other corner, the cousin of the Hulk, the sensational She-Hulk. After being shot by mobsters, Jennifer Walters' cousin Bruce Banner saved her life by giving her last-minute blood transfusion of his own irradiated blood. From that point on, she was able to transform into the sensational She-Hulk, a recurring member of the Avengers. As She-Hulk, her power is essentially the same as the Hulk's, although to a lesser degree. She's superhumanly strong, and in fact, just one of her arms is stronger than the Thing. She's drawn blood from both Red Hulk and World War Hulk, knocked down the Sentry, and she's actually straight up ripped the Vision in half. In fact, at her strongest, she's managed to beat up the champion of the universe. She's able to arm wrestle against Hercules and claimed that she let him win. Jen is also superhumanly durable, as Spider-Man has just hurt his hand when he punched her. Excalibur cannot cut through her skin, and she's gone toe-to-toe with Namor and taken hits from Sentry. Then, unlike most heavy brutes, She-Hulk is actually a very skilled fighter. She's been personally trained by Captain America in hand-to-hand combat and several different forms of martial arts. She's casually beaten Iron Man before, she's able to take down the Abomination, claiming that she's probably the only foe he's ever faced with both fighting skills and the power to actually hurt him. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, these right here are two of the more unsung powerhouses in comics. Oftentimes because She-Hulk is overshadowed by her much more famous cousin, and Aquaman just can't seem to get past the whole talking to fish thing. But today we're going to try and give them their fair due. Plus, they've already fought once before in a JLA Avengers crossover. So who's come out on top here? Well, we're going to find out. And first thing we need to do is take a look at strength and power. And this is such a significant part of the fight, so listen up. Now, first off, yes, it's safe to say that Jen is a little inconsistent when it comes to strength. She's been increasing his strength pretty much ever since her debut in comics, but there are times or even just moments where she takes steps backwards, sometimes kind of big steps. But at her best, while She-Hulk can not outlift the thing with just one hand, easily held down overpower Iron Man, and even almost against Hercules. Then there's a big difference between lifting strength and striking power, as there's a whole lot more than just strength when it comes to throwing a good punch. As anyone's ever thrown a punch can tell you. Basically, the power behind a punch can be found by using force equals mass times acceleration. Or put it more simple terms, how fast you can put your weight behind your punch is actually more important than how much you can lift when determining how hard you can hit or throw a punch. And man, can Jen throw a punch! I mean, she's consistently on a Senate Namor reeling with her hits. She decked Sentry into the ground just one hit, beat up on Thor, she's drawn blood from Red Hulk, and even made World War Hulk bleed with her punches. She's knocked out the Abomination, beat Titania with the Power Gem, and actually landed some good blows against the Skyfather Zeus. And there was her infamous fight with the Champion. Now, this fight did take place after she learned that she can exponentially increase her strength in She-Hulk form if she increases her strength in normal human form, so she's probably a bit stronger than she was normally, but still, she managed to defeat an Elder of the Universe, and it's a great example of the power behind her punches. But flip the script, how strong is Arthur? Well, Aquaman's strong to stop Giganta's foot and flip her over, lift up an enormous cruise ship out of the water, casually toss a submarine out of the ocean, and even manages to collapse a section of the tectonic plate by simply pushing on it. He's knocked around Despero, Martian Manhunter, Ultraman, and Superman, held up skyscrapers, and even a whole city block. And he's even managed to injure people like Mammoth or Triumph, who had previously been able to take attacks from Superman or Wonder Woman. So bottom line, each of them are more than strong enough to injure the other. That leads directly into durability here. And Aquaman has some impressive durability, taking no damage from punches from Superman, from Lobo, or from an angry Wonder Woman. Bullets just piss him off, and Killer Croc broke his teeth by trying to bite Arthur. He's taken blasts from Black Manta and Poseidon's Trident, even taking a blast from Empiric's Probe, and Aquaman was tough enough to last a full minute against the villain Titus, who very nearly killed Superman with just one hit. On the other hand, She-Hulk then punched from Brooklyn to New Jersey, yet got back up and continued fighting. She's taken punches from Hulk, Silver Surfer, Namor, Sentry, Hulkbuster, the Champion, and even Thanos. In fact, sometimes she's had long, sustained fights with someone like the Hulk, taking plenty of solid hits and yet not going down. She's easily stood up to Iron Man's full-powered repulsor blast, actually managed to take lightning blast from Zeus, and swords have literally just shattered against her skin before. Then I suppose we should mention speed and agility, even though neither of them are really known for being that fast or agile. Well, Jen managed to keep up with both Captain America and Daredevil. She's blocked blasts from Marvel, but even looking at the incoming blast, and actually managed to trip the speedster Wizard. She's quickly recovered from attacks using acrobatics, has dodged incoming attacks from Iron Man, and actually just jumped over an incoming missile. Then Aquaman isn't in water for this fight, because that would just be so unfair and an easy victory for him. That's actually going to really hurt him when it comes to speed. In fact, even though Aquaman is capable of blitzing opponents or dodging attacks, even dodging bullets, well, on land it's so rare for him to do so. He's just completely out of character. And finally, they gotta talk about skill. And both of these heroes are surprisingly skilled combatants. She-Hulk was trained by Gamora and Captain America, tells Hellcat the best way to take down stronger opponents, and has absolutely clowned on the likes of Captain Britain, Iron Man, and Abomination. However, when it comes to slugging it out, Aquaman doesn't just have to rely upon his fist. He's got his trident, the trident of Neptune no less, the King's Trident. He's able to stab out Darkseid's eye, as well as shatter ice that not even Superman's heat vision could blast through. As the trench were beginning to swarm him, Aquaman discovered a small volcanic vent in the ocean floor, and so he throws his trident at it with enough force to set off the volcano. You also have to factor in the water pressure that was at the bottom of the ocean floor, how much crust he had to break through, and how much force he had to throw that trident. And I think that's the key here. Not only does it give him a range advantage, and he can simply attack from a further distance, but the trident is going to pierce She-Hulk without a doubt. It's a massive advantage in his corner. And I think it's ultimately going to give him the victory here. They're very comparable when it comes to strength, durability, skill, and while She-Hulk has the edge in speed and agility and uses it more in fights, Aquaman has his trident. And I'm going to take that trident every single time. I don't necessarily think it'll be an easy fight for Arthur. Jen knows what she's doing, and she'll claim some wins. But I think Aquaman is ultimately coming out on top here. Aquaman wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sound off in the comments down below. Also be sure that like button, subscribe button, turn on notification from the DanCo army, and I will see you next time.